What is happening, guys? And welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls 2 Kita Edition! That was so epic that my voice caught in my throat. So let me turn back on the music, because I turned that off because I was doing lore stuff. There we go, perfect. I'm kind of doing a decent job meshing, releasing lore and Let's Plays, I think. I'm trying. I'm gonna try and do an even better job. Anyways, so the Hollow Lord 93 and Matthias Pertella, well, one said to go to No Man's Wharf next, and others said the Bastille. And there are a couple other suggestions, like Smelter Demon and to go to the Shrine of Winter. There's actually a shortcut that the Anubis found, but I think if you have the updates, and this is currently updated, you can't do it. But anyways, 2 versus 1 versus 1, the 2 wins. So, let's roll, guys. Let's run. And by run, I mean waltz and walk. And then run. So we're going to go ahead and head to No Man's Wharf. And wait a second. What am I doing? I can just warp over there. What's up, guys? So I forgot that I actually wanted to upgrade the Drangleic Mail. So we're actually going to do that first. And then I'm going to go ahead and quick cut, warp it to where I need to be. So you guys don't have to watch that. But just so you see what I'm doing is I'm upgrading the Drangleic Mail a couple times. Even though I do want to get something a little cooler. But for now, let's just go ahead and keep on rocking the Drangleic Mail until I find some armor I really like the Llewellyn set, for example. And then once I get that set, I'll probably start rocking that, even though it's not as good as the Drangleic Mail. At least it's a set I like a lot. So I could go to the Lost Bastille, but I'm going to go ahead and do No Man's Wharf first. So with that said, let's go ahead and go to the Tower of Flame. I actually missed a bonfire here. So I'll show that and quick cut now. Hello. How are you doing? I'm a big fan of your work. Oh, you know what I just realized? I've also got some other settings turned off, like the HUD. Huh. Whoops. Alright, so this is the bonfire I forgot to light before. I actually didn't find it until like pretty much to the point that I was about to beat the game. So that's why I hadn't lit it. I don't know, somehow I missed this obvious bonfire at Hades Rune. But guys, I'm gonna quick cut again. It will hopefully be through all the quick cuts. So I'll see you guys in a moment. Alright guys, I'm back at the bonfire, and I just turned the HUD on to hide automatically, which is actually, I really prefer that setting. That's my favorite of the settings. So now we're going to go down into No Man's Wharf. Hopefully be done with all those quick cuts, because that was getting pretty ridiculous. And if you head this way, you can find a Monastery Charm. But at the top, circling around doesn't net you anything, so there's no reason to do the top circle. And if we go down here, it's pretty easy to deal with these guys if you actually worked on them and got used to them. They have the same moveset as before. It shouldn't be too bad to just get yourself through these. Once again, it's usually just roll through the first attack and you should be fine with the rest. This guy actually nicked me on that one, but you can see it did hardly any damage to me now that I have this upgraded Drangleic Mail. So, should all be pretty easy. Actually, I'm imagining No Man's Wharf isn't going to be hard at all, now that I'm a fairly high level. Especially for No Man's Wharf, I'm a high level. And I've upgraded the Drangleic Mail a couple times, so that's going to give me a bunch of defense. Yeah, I was watching the Anubis most recent, or one of his most recent speedruns where he beat the game in just over an hour. And I gotta say, there's a big giant shortcut you can do that he found. I mean, I don't know if he was the one who found it, but he used it. And I'm really sad that apparently From Software patched that. Someone argued with me in the comments. I commented on it. Some people were arguing with me that, like, why would you be sad about a game-breaking thing being patched? But I don't really consider that to be game-breaking. It's like, I guess, as other people do. Even though it allows you to skip basically half of the game. It's really hard to find, and it's something that you have to, that's hard to pull off. So it's hard to find, it's hard to pull off, and if you're not ready to do something like that, like if you're new to the game, it's just not a good idea. What does this say? Hurrah for the pointless. Hurrah for that, indeed. But yeah, it's just like, if it's something that's hard to pull off, if it's something that's incredibly hard to find that you're probably not going to find on your own unless you're really, really trying to jump around onto everything, I don't really consider it that game-breaking. I mean, it's something for people who really dig and search, and I think it actually, to me, promotes exploration. I think it's fun, and I miss the olden days of Super Nintendo games and Genesis games and NES games, but primarily I think of it about as being like Super Nintendo and Genesis, and then like early days of PlayStation, Saturn, and N64, where you could kind of like go beyond the bounds and the walls to get to new areas. I love that stuff. I think it adds another dimension to the game, and another dimension to the replayability of it. And this particular person was saying, well, why don't you just use a hack save file? And the whole point isn't that. It's not the point of, like, skipping something. The point is just finding a secret. Like, just some, like, secret where you're breaking through the boundaries, and it almost makes the game seem more three-dimensional in a way when you can do something like that, to me. So that's why I enjoy it, but, I mean, no, everyone's gonna have their own opinion. So this is where the Knight's armor, or the Knight set's gonna be, the full Knight set is going to be up here, which when I first got it, I thought it was going to be pretty baller, but unfortunately, the Drangleic Mail pretty much just obliterates it in terms of stats. Now, I haven't raised it up to plus 10, so I'm not sure if once it hits plus 10, if maybe it's better than the Drangleic Mail, but let's be real, the Drangleic Mail is pretty OP, and I can't say I really like that, because I just think with the Drangleic Mail, you find it in the beginning of the game, and then you just basically stick to it. And even, like, armor that I've gotten in New Game Plus, so far, the armor I've found hasn't been as good. Now, Havel's armor set, that's more powerful, but that one actually does weigh a decent amount more, that it does make it, like, okay, which one do you really want to equip? But armor that you find later in the game, like the Llewellyn set, for example, which A, looks much cooler, but B, it's harder to get, it's something you have to farm for, and it's kind of a secret. I would hope for something like that to be the more difficult, or the better equipment, you know? Because really, you have to get at least past the halfway point to get it. Whose summon is this? Is it just a random person? It is just a random person. I was just like, I don't remember there being a summon sign there. Luca, please, as EMB would say.
Oh, you...
Yeah, me, this guy.
My thoughts are very scattered.
Yeah, she's starting to slowly forget more and more.
What is this curse?
It's a party.
The
You live
question
forever.
rings in my mind, but
You
I
rave
haven't the
forever.
facts to answer it. Loss frightens me no end. Loss of memory, loss of self. If I were told that by killing you I would be freed of this curse, then I would draw my sword without hesitation.
Lucatiel! How
I don't want
dare
to
you.
die. I want to exist. I would sacrifice anything at all for this. It
Yes,
shames me, but it is the truth.
I mean, that kind of raises the question about what is it to be human, and that's where really you go hollow, is you lose your sense of self and your humanity, and that's what she's saying is essentially once you lose who you are, that you're dead anyways, because you've lost your identity, you've lost yourself. So she's going slowly more hollow.
Sometimes I feel obsessed with this insignificant thing called self.
Look, maybe if you're better at helping against bosses.
Even so, I am compelled to preserve it. Am I wrong to feel so? Surely you do the same in my shoes.
Lucatiel, baby. I don't know.
Maybe we're all cursed.
When it comes to
The
you,
moment we're born.
maybe if you weren't so, like, scattered-brained and crazy,
Sometimes I feel...
I would
Maybe
feel
we'll-
more inclined to help you. I don't know. Alright, let's go. We're gonna help her anyways. So, this is another one of the bosses, is against the Flexile Sentry that you can use Lucatiel if you want to continue her quest line, which is definitely something I'm trying to do. As much as I really don't like summoning against bosses, you have to this time around, so if you want to continue the quest lines. So we're going to. Now, you only have to do it 3 of 4 for Lucatiel, so doing it with the Rotten was one of those. And then here's going to be another one right here, the second one. And then you can do it against the Lost Sinner or Smelter Demon as the 3rd and 4th. And I recommend Lost Sinner over Smelter Demon. unless you can heal her with Smelter Demon, it's really difficult to keep her alive. At least I've found. And we find a Titanite Shard, because this would normally be somewhere you'd go earlier in the game. I don't even know why I'm trying to roly-poly around this guy. I like how you can see the ship over there in the distance. And I remember when I first walked through into this area, I imagined that at some point I'd somehow end up on that ship. So I like whenever they incorporate that into where the environment is a foreshadow in itself. Oh, what? How did you track me? I was trying to do some jukes on you. Sweep jukes away. Apparently I'm not a juke master. So, if you do get oil on you, the water's right here. And something I realized way later on, but if you get oil on you, just go into the water, wash yourself. Wash yourself! Don't be so dirty. Don't be so nasty. Wash yourself off. And get all that water off of you. So, No Man's Wharf, and we'll see if I can find a Verengian helmet here, Verengian armor. But the Verengians are basically the pirates. And it's like basically a pirate's bay here where a certain king basically banished or captured all the pirates, and instead of executing them, put them all to work for him. And that is what these Varangian pirates were doing. And then they've all now hollowed out, or turned hollow and turned undead themselves. But before that, they were basically his slaves, because he captured them and basically moving things, shipping things for him. But I think what they were shipping for him was the undead, because we find the Flexile Sentry on the pirate ship, whose lore would indicate thusly. I was kind of just walking on that house because I was like, is there anything up there? I don't remember there being anything up there. And there wasn't. Ooh, maybe this will be Verengian cuffs. We can use that. We can use that to explore the Verengians. Verengian cuffs. Cuffs worn by Verengian that terrorize nearby seas. The coastline stretches far in northern Drangleic. Beyond the northern seas, an unexplored continent, said to be the home of things inhuman. I would love to see what this unexplored continent is. That would be awesome. That's where I would want a new Dark Souls game to take place, honestly, or a new Souls game. Maybe not even Dark Souls, just a new Souls game. Break these for a secret to get a Ring of Life Protection. But yeah, like an unexplored continent, how cool would that be? Where everything just wants to murder your face, as typical Souls fashion. But it's a new continent! I just want to explore things. It's part of what's so great about Dark Souls. And Dark Souls 2, just the Souls series in general, is that capturing that feeling of exploration. That's why a lot of people, including myself, tend to compare it to Zelda. And especially like the original Zelda, where you just have this really deep feeling of exploring a world. And that's really how the Souls series makes me feel, and part of what I love so much about it. To me, like, I never really mind. I guess I'd say the spoilers that I dislike and I was avoiding the most was the names of the areas and what the areas will look like, because that was this type of stuff I really wanted to explore on my own. Was, hey, what's this area I'm going to look like? I want to find it out myself, and I want to explore it and into its depths without someone spoiling that for me, and like search for its secrets and its hidden depths. Nope. Not gonna let you create the whole flame arrow chain thing. Now, this is an unnecessary thing over here, and actually I'll do it later and come back to it. And actually, it might be down one, but lighting this place up is unnecessary, but I actually would recommend it if you have a ferrous stone to spare. And I will show why. It has to do with the most annoying creatures ever. Oh, we got the Verengian armor. Let's find out if that's the same lore, if it's anything different. Verengian armor. Oh, no, that's the same thing as the cuffs. There is lore talking about how they were imprisoned, and I thought it was from them, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's like in their outfit. So we got the brigand set here, and the bandit axe. So let's go ahead and look at that stuff. The brigand set. Wait a second. There we go. Brigand armor. The armor may appear shoddy, but is in fact a very functional piece of work. Its materials meticulously crafted together. Armor donned by looting brigands. So looting brigands and pirates, similar, not the same thing, but similar. And we get the bandit axe, and that I think is actually pretty interesting. An axe of bandits of the Ferosan outskirts, very sturdily built, an armament of a bandit. When Ferosa fell to war, its citizens were left landless and entirely to their own devices. Many were reduced to thievery, while Ferosan knights scattered to other lands as sellswords. So this is a lot of lore about Ferosa right there. And about the fact that it fell to war. I mean, you get that right there. It actually doesn't exist anymore. It's where a lot of the sellswords are going to come from. And a lot of the characters that we meet come from there, come from Ferosa. And that's kind of why I think Ferosans are actually the sellswords for the Volgan, where they would hire sellswords. If you look at the Falconer set, it talks about the Falconers are sellswords from other lands. And yeah, to me, likely the other lands would most likely be Ferosa as the #1 suspect, and possibly Mira. Although it was really looked down on to be a sellsword in Mira, I'm sure some of them ended up being sellswords, and probably for the cause of being a Falconer. It's all about that pay, yo. It's all about that pay. So this right up here is going to end up being a shortcut. I just want to clear the way. And this could be a shortcut if you consider it one. Oh, made it. For a second, I thought I wasn't going to make it. I was like, oh, ooh, that would have been bad. I guess it wouldn't have been that bad. So I think it's actually from this floor. Yeah, it is. Okay, so if you look up here. Oh, what? Who just shot me? Way to go, me. I'm missing that. Good thing I got so much Estus now, since I've been to other areas. Okay, so this right here is where the giant torches that we're gonna light. And those those really dark dudes who hide in the shadows, this is gonna affect them, so they have to hide inside. And it basically clears a path for us. So it's also especially useful for if you can't kill the boss to run back a little bit quicker. But here you can see right up there, you can see the ones that were up there are now running inside because they hate the fire and they hate the light. Specifically, well, I don't know, it might be fire. I was going to say specifically the light, but I think it might be fire. You find a lot of Pyromancer equipment off of them, and that would indicate that either they hated the fire so they killed Pyromancers, so therefore they would have Pyromancer scraps and equipment on them, or they used to be Pyromancers and they were transformed. I like to think that they used to be Pyromancers and they transformed, but it really could go either way. So that kind of wraps up this little downstairs area, and we can run up now to the tippity top. Oh, I was like, what is that? Oh, it's a bottle of oil. Don't want that all over me. So here's a torch too, and this torch is already lit for you. So if you are trying to deal with these guys without lighting this giant light up there, that'll help you force them inside. Guy. Okay. Let's try and take them out before they get adapted to the light. Yeah, once they do their little, like, crazy, like, I'm going mad because I hate the light so much, as that guy's doing the top left there, the light doesn't affect them anymore. Which is a hard lesson to learn. Oh, this guy's gonna destroy the wall for us. It's more fun when the guy behind it destroys the wall, but that's okay, I guess. Why are these guys adapting to the light? They haven't even gone outside yet. I thought that was a requirement in order to adapt, or need to adapt. Oh, crap. It's funny that whenever bleeding doesn't do the same thing anymore at all that it used to do. Like, I'm still not entirely sure how bleeding affects you, because before it would drain your health really quickly while you were bleeding, but it just was an effect that didn't last very long, and I'm not quite sure how that one works. But yeah, my first time through, I was having trouble with those guys, because didn't have the Drangleic mail, wasn't a very high level, and then when that wall busted open, there were even more of them back there, I was like, hell no. Oh, hell no. Let's go ahead and look at Emit Force. Emit Force. Throughout history, there have been many examples of imitative miracles. When discerning original from imitator is nigh on impossible, which is which hardly matters. So perhaps this wasn't the actual original Emit Force that we're holding in our hands. But I'm an imitation! I said that really weirdly. You want me, but you can't have me. You gotta try harder than that. Oh, this guy got me pretty well. See, I'm bleeding, but what is it doing to me? I'm sure people are gonna be crazy and mad at me in the comments, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Gavlan, what do you do? I hope you wheel, and I hope you deal. That would be good.
Who are you?
Why, my name's Kita.
I, Gavlan.
Look at this cool view.
Gavlan wheel, Gavlan deal.
If I was doing Lore and Gavlan, this would be
Gavlan
the
wants
view I would
soul.
use.
Many, many souls. What? You? With Gavlan, you wheel, you deal.
You wheel, you deal. So after talking to him here, he's actually going to move over to Harvest Valley. And then after talking to him there, he moves to his final location, which is the Ferris Lockstone area.
Gavlan wheel, Gavlan.
So
What?
if you spend
With
enough
Gav-
with him, I don't know the exact amount, he'll actually give you a gift. But he's the only NPC you can sell to. So he's basically our Frompt of this game. So if I had double of something, I could sell it, since I already moved Rosabeth over. That's where you gotta be careful. Try to have double of something for Rosabeth, you know? You gotta give Rosabeth something, but after that, it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, I actually rarely sell my stuff to him. Wow, this Alone Night stuff's actually worth a hefty amount. But I actually usually don't sell stuff to him just because I forget. And it's kind of just like, whatever. I just don't care enough about it. I wonder how much these rings are worth, actually, now that I think about it. You can't sell the things that you need, like keys, but where are my rings? They're not worth as much as I thought they would be. So let's go ahead and buy some items from him. We'll buy the Ring of Giants to increase my poise, even though poise doesn't seem to do as much in this game. Let's buy some throwing daggers, knives, sure. And pine resin. And maybe now he'll give us something.
Gavlan, what? With Gavlan.
No?
Many.
Nope, that wasn't enough for you, Gavlan?
What?
Alright, let's do some more transactions then. So, I like arrows. Let's buy some arrows.
Many.
So, maybe that was enough arrows for him.
Gavlan. What? With
Nope,
Gavlan.
not enough for you, Gavlan? Okay. I bought you out of arrows, and that's still not enough for him. Alright, let's try now.
Gavlan. What? With Gavlan.
Seriously, Gavlan, this is
Maybe.
ridiculous. Alright, well, another time. At least I got it started. So this is going to be a trap, this one right here. And it looks like this time it's poison, so let's just roll away, and we'll be fine. And you get a silver talisman for this, which I believe is what allows you to blend into the environment. And we're also going to get the greatsword. It's a normal greatsword. And we can just drop off. So now that we've talked to him, he'll move. We never have to come back to that spot ever again. Thank goodness. And from here, let's go ahead and head upstairs sooner than later. I think I'm going to switch to life gems, just because I don't want to have to use the bonfire if I can avoid it. I'd rather not. So, on one of my playthroughs, not my first time through, actually, funny enough, it was actually my second playthrough, I forgot to do this and just drop down. Make sure you remember to ring this bell. Yeah, my first time through, I was in, like, exploration mode, so I was making sure to do everything. But ringing this bell is what's going to bring this pirate ship over and indicate that they need to go dock up. So, you can do that and just keep on moving forward. So, this house you actually don't need to go into, this building. I don't think there's actually anything in there. But if you want to, you can. Otherwise, you can just drop off, really. Oh, I guess there's this. So, fire arrows. Alright, well, that's, I guess, why. And the only reason... Oh, crap! That was a close one. Woo-hoo-hoo. Wow. I was getting cocky. I thought I was going to stun him, so... Whoops. Oh, it looks like bleeding makes it so my life gems don't work as well. So, alright. There we go. That's something, I suppose. My Hayden Knight Sword's at risk. Man, what if I... Oh, here we go. So he dropped the tattered cloth hood. So let's actually look at that. Tattered cloth hood. Hood favored by pyromancers. It appears tattered, but in fact its fabric is reinforced with pyromancy. Magic is no show. It's an art that allows mere mortals to glimpse into the very fabric of what is and what may be. So again, they hate fire and they hate light. So is it because they used to be pyromancers and now they're transformed and therefore they just hate it? Or do they just hate it so they kill a lot of pyromancers? It could kind of go either way. But since our Hayden Knight Sword's at risk, and that would be a reason to go rest at the bonfire, we're going to switch over to my katana, because now I got two weapons that I can use that are both really good. I've just been killing so many enemies, just breaking my swords. All those dead enemies. So see those guys down there? There's guys hanging off right there. Better to deal with those guys, actually with that guy, the way that guy's doing, than let them come sneak up on you. But anyways, let's go ahead and open up the shortcut first, because shortcuts are pretty nice. Or maybe I should have dealt with those dark dudes. Nope, not gonna get me. Whoa, this does good damage on him. Even though I think I was killing them sometimes with one hit. And this is also where Lucatiel's summon sign is. That's Lucatiel's summon sign, but we're gonna wait until we've cleared the way to the boss before we summon her. Just cause Luca, please, as EMB would say. Luca, please. At least I'm pretty sure he's the one who came up with that. I'm pretty sure that's where I first saw it. Yeah, so these guys, they hide out in that box behind me, unless you... Okay. I'm not gonna give him a chance to attack me. But anyways, you really don't need to kill them if you light that up. So they stay in this box area, and then you probably do want to attack them if you don't light everything up. But if you've lit it all up, they just hide out in this area, which you can just avoid. You really don't need to kill them at all. So before I drop down in there, even though there's a Verengian knight, it looks like, or it's just a dead knight. Let's go ahead and kill these guys. Oh crap! Oh crap! Ho ho ho! Man, that was close. All right, that could have been bad. I almost just fell right off the ledge there. Verengian leggings. All right, well we got something for our troubles. Okay, yeah, there's another guy. You know what I never realized was that there's a gangplank over here to go down. I always ran back to that sandbank over there. Never knew that until just now. But this one's a good get, a human effigy and a couple life gems. Always down for picking up and finding human effigy, because that can get pricey. And let's go ahead and talk to Carillion, who's not going to want to talk to me because I am too stupid for him. You need your, I believe you need your intelligence to be at 8, and right now mine is at 3. So he's just going to say I'm not smart enough to talk to him.
I see light, but it remains dim. I am Carillion, and I've no interest in the magic impaired.
Magic impaired? How dare you? Okay, maybe I am.
I see.
So he'll just stay here, and then you don't need, unless you have the magic for it or the stats for it, he literally just stays there. And then once you raise it up, you can come back and talk to him. And after talking to him, he'll move over to Majula. And you actually need to do that for the achievements of moving everybody over into Majula. Also, if you accidentally let Rosabeth die, he will level up your Pyromancy Flame as well. So you don't need Rosabeth specifically. He'll do it too. So that's kind of the saving grace for you Pyromancers out there who may have accidentally killed Rosabeth or let her die when the whole swarm of enemies came. Now, I like to kind of just stay up there and let these guys come to me. And therefore, I can just sort of deal with them one at a time, as opposed to running to them where then there's going to be an archer trying to kill me. So this is how I deal with these guys. And then we can go deal with the archer. Now, if you're running through, you can just run through, and it's pretty easy to run past them and get into the area, into the boss battle without killing them. But trying to make this area safe for Lucatiel, because, you know, it's really all about Lucatiel here. Now, if I went ahead and New Game Plus my bonfire, I'm not sure here. I know in New Game Plus this will happen, and I'm actually curious, and this is something I don't know the answer to. But if you use a bonfire aesthetic, if Shadow Knights will appear during the Flexile Sentry battle. So the reason I'm saying this is, in New Game Plus, if you go to the Flexile Sentry and fight him, a bunch of Shadow Knights will come to Shadow Knights will fight you while you're fighting him, and you have to deal with all 3 enemies at once, making the fight a little more difficult. Plus, this is the only place in the entire game you can fight Shadow Knights, and they drop my favorite set in the game. And it's incredibly annoying to farm them. But at least they're not Black Phantoms. So since they're not Black Phantoms, they do respawn after you kill them. So you can kill them, warp out of the boss fight, and go in again, and kill them, warp out of the boss fight, and come in again. What's up, Lucatiel? But anyways, the reason I'm not sure is because if you use a bonfire aesthetic to fight the Lost Sinner, and you're just in normal game. And then the Bonfire Ascetic would raise it up to essentially New Game Plus. And you beat the Lost Sinner, and she'll give you the soul, the old witch soul for killing her by using that Bonfire Ascetic. The Pyromancers who come... There are a couple Pyromancers in New Game Plus who appear, who will attack you if you're in New Game Plus. But they don't appear if you use the Bonfire Ascetic. So, since they don't... Those Pyromancers don't appear with the Bonfire Ascetic, I'm really curious and I'm not sure if these Shadow Knights appear with a Bonfire Ascetic or not. If so, that'd be nice, because then you can get the Shadow set in New Game without going to New Game Plus, or etc. And get that amazingly cool set, even though it's not a very good set, it's just totally Fashion Soul's awesomeness. But yeah. I think the Flexile Sentry is really easy, but it's one of the cooler designs of these big humanoid bosses because of the concept that both ends are going to be able to attack you, so you can't necessarily go to its backside. But if you want my advice, the best idea is to always try to get his club attacks to attack you. Those ones are really easy to dodge. I don't know why he's just straight up going for Lucatiel, but I guess it's fine, because Lucatiel's defending against it just fine. But yeah, always, if you can, try to stay by the club side, because, like I said, the clubs are really easy to dodge. But that ended up being really easy, so Lucatiel, this one worked out just fine. Let's fist pump to that if I got a fist pump. Got Flexile Sentry Soul. I'll just do it radio. Yeah! Yeah! Flexile Sentry done in like that! Much easier now that I'm such a high level. And we also got the Flexile Sentry Soul, which I will show you guys in a moment. Let me just head upstairs. So, Flexile Sentry Soul. Let's take a look-see. There we go. The Flexile Sentry is a merciless creature whose purpose is to punish the undead. Use the special soul of the Flexile Sentry to acquire numerous souls or to create something of great worth. But his purpose is to punish the undead, and if you get his trade in his soul for his swords, it basically talks about that the whole reason was to transfer undead to prison. And the fact that the Shadow Knights are by him, the Shadow Knights are associated with Vendrick, as in Vendrick hired the Shadow Knights to take care of the undead. I think it was King Vendrick who was involved in shipping these guys off to the Lost Bastille, at least this specific boat. Now, as far as the king who was involved with the Verengian Knights and enslaving them, I'm not sure if that was the Iron King or King Vendrick or perhaps some previous king. That I'm not positive about, but it could be King Vendrick as well. It could be. We have Pyromancy Flame and Fireball from that. Pyromancy Flame, so now I have both the normal Pyromancy Flame and the Dark Pyromancy Flame. But now we have the normal one, which acts as it did in Dark Souls 1, and use a Fire Seed to level it up. And we got some more Pyro with that Fireball, and I don't think that one has any lore to it, but let's go ahead and check. Just in case. No, pretty much just explains to you how Pyromancy works for that one. So if we look at the compass, which is what I think that is, or maybe it's supposed to say the time, because that's usually what those crystal things are for, where you have all those notches, and then when the light comes in, it shines in on the way that the shadow shows. That kind of tells you what time of the day it is, depending on where the shadow's at. That's how they used to track time back in like Greek and Roman times. Just, yeah, to see where the shadow is at. Anyways, for some reason, this is going to make us steer the ship and go over to the Lost Bastille. I just want to say that brief history lesson. So this is our second way into the Lost Bastille. So either you can go through by hawk, or you can go by ship. And that makes it so No Man's Wharf is completely optional. There's absolutely no reason you have to go in here, although it is recommended because you can find a, Did I miss it? Actually, now that I think about it, you can find an Estus Flask shard here, I'm pretty sure. And I'm wondering if I missed it. If I did, that was a pretty big mistake on my part. I might have to check. I don't remember picking it up. Oh, I did miss it. Crap. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back. So I'm gonna get the bonfire, and I'm gonna quick warp back, actually, and go ahead and get that Estus Flask shard. yeah, there's a building I just completely forgot to go into. But let me just double check here. It would be up in this area. The Sublime Bone Dust, which I gotta use. Yeah. Whoops. Alright, I'm gonna go back. But I'll quick cut it to the spot, the location of it, after I do this. So here we are, Lost Bastille, the other entrance, the Party Bay entrance. And I don't know how, but my little brother was playing, and he told me, and I'm pretty sure this is where he told me, but apparently he saw some bloodstains on the ground where people had pressed on this lever and just died. I really don't know how that happened. Apparently they stepped on this and, like, he was saying that it looked like the ground had just dropped out from under them and they died. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I have no idea how that happened. I've never seen that myself, but it's kind of funny. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm really not sure. Now I'm trying to think of it. Unless someone, like, somehow this was up here and somebody forgot and they just ran off. So what we're going to do, actually not pull that off, but we're gonna step on that. Oh, no, crap. Okay, I'm gonna quick cut this. I'll be right back, guys. All right, so this is what I was meaning to do, and I botched that pretty badly. So once this thing is rocking down, you get on top of it, and you can just wait for it to stop, but there's a secret passage up here where you can pick up an item. I actually don't quite remember what it is, but yeah, it's an item you can pick up. That's what matters. Here we go. It is a scimitar. So for all you dex builds out there, and some repair powder, which I could utilize right now if I wanted for the Hayden Knight sword, but it really doesn't matter. Because I got a second sword that I can use. This lovely black steel katana that has been kind of disappointing me, actually. It's really just that I'm actually really kind of sad about the fact that scaling it just doesn't matter that much at all, it seems like. And I don't know why do that. You just basically turn the mechanic into poop. I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes it so it's easier for new players again, like it streamlines the experience in a way. I actually don't know if I've checked these walls for secret passages in this specific spawn. The Lost Bastille is full of secret passages. Solve a Proud Knight and a Radiant Life Gem through that specific broken down prison gate. It's a little harder to notice that one. Well, at least we got a little reward, I suppose. And yeah, on the left side here is going to be the broken in gate that has our bonfire. And with that, guys, I am going to go ahead and quick cut it, and I will be right back. Or actually, yeah, I'm going to quick cut it to where you pick up that Estus Flash shard, and then I'll be back. Alright, so here's where the house was that I forgot. Yeah, when you're coming down from this slope, there's a house, like little area at the bottom, and you'll walk in on some people, some more Verengian knights eating their dinner, and just take those suckers out. And you probably want to lure this guy away a little bit so you don't poison yourself, because yeah, otherwise if you knock over that barrel, you'll probably accidentally get yourself covered in poison. And this, I believe, is the Estus Flash shard right here. So definitely want to pick up that item and not miss it. Yeah, you guys are eating dinner, and I'm like, no! I have no honor. I'll stab you in the back of your back while you're eating dinner. And then hit my sword into a wall because I'm crazy. And this one's a throwing knife and a flame butterfly. Or a couple throwing knives and a flame butterfly. But yeah, let's see if I roll into the water, if this is going to get away my poison. I guess not. But I'm not drenched in poison, so maybe that's why. Or, well, maybe it cleaned it up. I don't know. Alright, guys, I will be right back. I'm going to go ahead and actually climb on the pirate ship, and I'll see you guys in a moment. Well, this is probably how people died. I mean, since I came back through the pirate ship, and they probably just accidentally ran off into the water. So, that would be my guess. Alright, we are back at the Lost Bastille, and picking up some items, some common fruit. And also gonna check these walls, even though I'm pretty sure these specific ones are barren. So, lore on the Last Bastille as I go use the bonfire and regen everything. Essentially, the Lost Bastille is a prison for the undead, and that's what it's been used for a long time. And now all the prison guards have also turned undead. And it's implied that it's been around. I mean, definitely, at least the area has existed since at least during the time of Olafus. Maybe for the same function, maybe not. It might have just been turned into a prison later after Strayed was there, but Strayed was petrified while he was there during the time of, while it was called Olafus, before it was even Drangleic, and got imprisoned. Hello, bitch. Yeah, so you can kill this guy without the without this falling down, and not be then attacked by multiple guard dogs at the same time. Anyways, so the Lost Bastille's been around for a long time. Now I believe there's also iron doors similar to the Iron King's doors here. So it's possible and probable that the Iron King used the Lost Bastille, or was some way involved, and maybe that was around the time of Olafus. Really, we're not sure. At least I'm not sure at the moment. But I do believe King Vendrick has been using it recently, because I think I believe the Flexile Sentry is associated with him, and the Shadow Knights definitely are, who surround the Flexile Sentry, so I'm pretty positive that King Vendrick is currently using the Lost Bastille and using it as a prison. So it's gone through a couple iterations of usage, and possibly all for the same reason. So I'm going to go through this way first, I suppose. Maybe we'll go the other way. Actually, well, we shall see. Take out this guy before he explodes. Take out you before you turn into Exploder. Get Flame Butterfly. So remember that key that I got, that ancient key that I got the other side of the Lost Bastille? The antiquated key? This is what it opens right there. And that is why you want to pick that up before heading through the No Man's Wharf way. It's just so when you do, you can come through in this direction. There's actually a big shortcut over here, and more things to get. But if you're going for exploration, it's a good idea. Also, let's go ahead and take out this. And we're going to get another Estus Flash shard over here as well. So this is an Alluring Skull. Now, if we take the left-hand path behind here, this is going to be an Estus Flash shard, if I remember correctly. Estus Flask shard. Gotta pronounce those K's! Yeah, there you go. Estus Flask shard and a large Titanite shard. I actually didn't realize there was a large Titanite shard as well over there. So that's a good one to pick up in that spot. And then we can open up this cage here, which is going to open up the... basically just a shortcut and a way to get to... the... well, just so you can go from side to side, basically. But this is what's going to open up, and this is the side to open it from. So now that we've opened up this cage, we can talk to Macduff again if we want to, now that we've used that bonfire and he's going to be moved. So here you have, because we lit this torch, Macduff's moved over here. Thank you guys for informing me about that. And we can go ahead and lift this chest up now and get its contents, which would be the Craftsman's Hammer and a Twinkling Titanite. Twinkling Titanite's really the big catch here. I mean, the Craftsman's Hammer has some interesting lore that we're going to look at, but Twinkling Titanite, that's the big, real takeaway. So let's go ahead and look at the Craftsman's Hammer, which, where is that thing? Gotta find the hammers. Great club. Oh, there it is. Looks like a typical hammer, but it is in fact incredibly sturdy. Some say it was the hammer used long ago by a famed blacksmith of yore. To me, that makes it sound like it's supposed to be alluding to Andre of Astora. That would be the illusion I get from it. Illusion, not illusion.
Flame. I smell flame. I'm Macduff, the blacksmith. All I want is a little flame. So, hand that ember to me.
Yeah, so he's gonna be the one to give the old ember to.
You imbecile.
Well, if you're gonna call me an imbecile, screw you.
What? Oh, do it yourself then.
Well, apparently
Flame.
you can't even. That's funny. Apparently you can't even talk to him without giving him the dull ember.
What a marvelous ember. You've got stones, I pray. Give me stones, and I'll fortify your gear.
So, yeah, we can infuse our weapons with him, and that will be by using the various stones we've been finding, like Faint Stone, Fire Drake Stone, Bolt Stone, etc. This reminds me a lot of Demon Souls, more so than Dark Souls in the way it works. I think it's just because of the name of it, honestly. That's why it makes me think of it. But, yeah, so if we add it to, say, like, our... Let's go ahead and look at some of my weapons here. Okay, so say, like, if I infuse the Blacksteel Katana. You'll notice it's going to drop down its attack power, but it's going to get an added bonus for whatever it's infused with. And surprisingly, depending on what you add to it, it doesn't drop it as much as I thought. It's still got S scaling, and then now it's got B scaling with some other things, but it's actually a lot less than I was imagining it would be. But you can infuse it with bleeds, poison, the whole works. And then you can also get rid of it if you don't want to. If you don't want it, and just return it to normal. But anyways, that is what you use him for, and then he also will reinforce your weapons and armor just like Lenegrast will. Looks like that one I need more for, and I'm pretty sure... Oh, wait, what do you know? I have enough Titanite chunks. Let's do this one again, now that I have the Titanite chunks for it. +8 that, Blacksteel Katana. And let's go ahead and talk to him.
Flame, dear Flame, I give you my all, and you waver and falter. From the start of time, Flame allowed man to flourish, and even now he devises new fiery arts. But his reason makes him doubt Flame. And so we waver and falter. The power of Flame, power of the gods. In the end, it is all beyond our reach. And so, Flame allures us, and we attempt to harness its power. Flame, dear Flame. Flame, I give you my all.
So, that's kind of a funny note. I give you my all, and the flame wavers and falters. In a sense, that's like, you know, you give your souls to the flames, and it still ends up wavering and faltering. And some more there. Oh, look, I never noticed that you can actually see that item up there, but that would make sense. I guess that gives you that idea that you're gonna at some point have to walk on that wall. Anyways, he also gives us some info on the way the world was created a little bit, but he's kind of has, I think it's more interesting dialogue as compared to others. I thought I used that bonfire, but I guess not. Doesn't matter. Don't matter none. This way nobody got respawned. So if we hit this rock in, it's gonna bring a whole slew, a whole mess of enemies. Actually, a bunch of exploders. I didn't even realize it was the exploders. I hate the exploders. So just deal with them before they can explode, and we'll get the entire Wanderer set. Let's look at the Wanderer set. A coat for the roving type, light sturdy leather made for long journeys. So really not much lore at all to it, but we've looked at it, so that is what we need to do. Now, let's see if I got a fire arrow. I think I do. So, reason I wanted a fire arrow is because you can blow up this wall, and also hurt that guy just by doing that. And now we're gonna go up and deal with him this way. But first I wanted to blow up the wall, just because it was fun. Let's take you out as well. You can get taken out. We don't need you. And, oh nice. Oh nice, we got the Royal Grit Sword. So back in this hole, we can find the Archdrake robes and Archdrake shield. This is the normal Archdrake shield, and I think it's the only spot to find it, as opposed to the Slumbering Dragon Crest shield, which is also related to Archdrakes. But the Archdrakes are who you saw. If you ever looked at the beta, it's the guys who wear the robes, and you can start off with their armor set, but they're from Lindelt originally. The secrets of Lindelt rituals are protected by the Archdrake sect, and only a select few are given access to their canon of knowledge, which includes the truthful origins of the Archdrake sect itself. And the dragon was engraved for ritual purposes, but the shield itself is highly functional. So, the Archdrakes are definitely a mystery to me. I've tried to figure out, and I haven't yet, exactly what the secrets are that they're related to. That is a really curious thing to me. I'm wondering if any of you guys have theories on what the secrets and origins of the Archdrakes were. Remember, they come from Lindelt. Remember that much. That might help out, but yeah, it's just something I've been thinking on. You know what? I didn't even realize that, but you can just roll off onto the platform from here as opposed to running all the way around. I usually run all the way around. So here we have another Ferris Lockstone we can use, which we'll come back to in a moment. That guy actually did less damage to me than I thought he would. Get his Royal Swordsman's gloves. Oh. You got some wide swings there. Ah. Not playing smartly. Alright, so I don't really know who this guy is yet, and that's something I haven't quite figured out yet. Who that's supposed to be. And that's another thing to think on, is just who do all these statues represent. So, I forgot that there's a treasure chest over here, but that's nice. There's actually a couple treasure chests in this room. We get the bone staff, and actually let's light this up first before I look at the bone staff. Oh yeah, here's another statue too. I'm not sure what that one's supposed to be either. So if we look at the bone staff, let's look at that. This will be the easy way to find it. Properly trained sorcerers receive their first staff from the master after reaching a certain level of accomplishment. Those without proper training must devise something of their own making. So I'm pretty sure that the various guys in the undead copes who restore the and the parrying dagger, which I love the parrying dagger. Anyways, who restore the, and we got our, what probably would have been your first twin blade, but I already got multiple ones. Anyways, the guys who restore the skeletons back to life, that's who it would be. I'm actually gonna equip this because I love parrying daggers so much. And it weighs less anyways. Now we can parry with our dagger. I love it. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan of the parrying dagger. I love it for PvP, for everything. Now this is a way right here to skip the Flexile Sentry if you want to. And there's a wilted dusk herb down here. But if you go up this is actually, and I'd always drop down here, which I guess you just don't need to do, and I didn't know that before, but yeah. Anyways, I always drop down there to get that item. So I'll come back here for that item in a little bit. But anyways, this is gonna lead us to our explodey bros up here, as you can see. And it's just a shortcut, so essentially it allows you to completely skip those horrendous sentries that everybody hates, and by hates I mean either likes or dislikes, but those sentries that that deal a lot of trouble for your first time through. I'd say it was definitely one of the hardest bosses in the game your first time through, is that boss. But of course you don't have to go that way, and we're going to continue trudging this way for the time being. Trudging forward. What, is this secret passage? Liar ahead. Who's lying? The bloodstain? I guess it must be gone. Keep checking for secret passages, even though I don't think there are any. Because this place is crawling with secret passages. So basically what this is, it's just going to drop us off right back behind the mummy and to the bosses if we want to. Those dogs can also drop human effigies, so if you're looking for human effigies, these dogs are one way to get it. Alright. Sorry, doggy. Now, it's hard for me to tell now. I'm looking at how much time I'm at, and right now I'm like a little bit over, but there's so many quick cuts that I had to do that I think I got time to go ahead and beat the boss, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to beat the boss, and then that's going to wrap this up. And also go grab something I missed that you guys pointed out to me. So thank you so much for pointing this out to me. I never knew. So, I never noticed this ladder before, and if you walk up here, you can actually get to this ladder. And this is the tower that Lucatiel was in. And you climb up here, and look at that. You can get a large Titanite shard. So, nice little secret there that I never knew about. And yeah, just I enjoy stuff like that. That's really cool to me. Anything like that. And there's a bunch of that in this area. So, I probably didn't need to drop that life gem. To me, I think the easy thing to do is, what I used to do with these guys at least, was just lure them out and deal with them one by one over by the drop-off area. And, oh. Oh. Well, this is working all right. Actually, oh, geez. Oh, geez. And my Blacksteel Katana's at risk. Okay. What is my Hayden Knight Sword at? Is that at risk? I don't think so. I think I've rested since then. Right? Yeah, it's full. Yeah, you can look at the red meter and the bottom, like, underneath your weapon to see how much you have left. So, good thing I got 2 weapons to switch out between, even though I have repair powder and it really doesn't matter that much, and I could actually use that, but I like just switching weapons. Even though there's no reason not to waste repair powder, I'm just sort of always in that mode. I think this is funny on the end of FromSoft. I'm like, FromSoft, you guys made a door that just falls off. I find that to be pretty hilarious. So, if you're trying to run through here and you're having trouble with the boss, I highly recommend a good path would be, don't even kill the guys I just killed, but open this door, run down those stairs, climb up the ladder, and you should be able to get to the boss without needing to kill a single one of these guys. And that is what I highly recommend, you ass. You idiot! You just killed us all! Now I have to heal up. I was worried that one of those guys might blow up the barrels, but usually these specific ones don't do that to me. Usually it's the ones after I open the gate. Whoops. Whoops. I'll open that back up. Anyways, another way to make it a little bit easier too is just to open up this gate, and then that way these guys might get triggered to run after you when you're running down there, and you'll have even less people to worry about. Where are you going? I'm not down there. I'm not down the ladder right now. Like that was his automatic thought was he ran down the ladder. He ran downstairs. Nope. Get the Royal Swordsman leggings. Actually, I can look at those for you guys. I'm sorry, I haven't yet. Royal Swordsman leggings. Leggings of a Royal Swordsman. Their shape provides defense while allowing great mobility. Stripped of ornamentation, these leggings are designed strictly for battle. King Vendrick supplied his bravest men with the best armor available to face the great giants, but very few returned alive. But again, that connects King Vendrick to the Lost Bastille, in my opinion. I also, like I said, think the Flexile Sentry is connected. You can summon Pilgrim Belliclaire here to help you out with the boss, but I've never done it, and I'm going to continue that trend of never having done it. Did I just get an Estus Flask somehow? Did people kindle bonfire? Wait, you can't kindle bonfire. Before I thought I only had 3 Estus Flasks left. Maybe I'm just being crazy. I'm not sure. Okay, so for these guys, first you want to deal with this guy up top. And just deal with him one at a time. Just make sure you don't get greedy on him. And once you learn his attack patterns, he's not the worst guy in the world. But it's basically like roll through to his left and you should be able to roll past his attacks. And anytime this specific one falls, he's going to jump up from the bottom right area over there every single time. So he always jumps there, at least he always has for me. And I'm just talking about this one. Once there's 2 of them, they'll jump up from the other side, but when it's just Yahim, he always sticks to that side. Now, after this point, drop down to the bottom, and you're going to want to try to deal with both of these guys down here. It's just, you can try to deal with them both on the platform, but they'll both jump up to attack you, so I think it's just a better idea to go ahead and just say, you know what, I'm just going to deal with 2 at once. And just be cautious. As long as you're cautious, you can do it. But just, you know, be cautious. Once they both do this attack, for example, that's a good time to come in, because they both exhausted heavy move attack. But, you know, just be cautious. Make sure you don't go in to attack them unless you're certain you're not going to get hit by either of them. Like, this time I'll probably get hit by the other one. Yeah, if I got into attack. And now, it's not the safest time what I just did there, but I figured I could sneak one in. I mean, if they both attack, you're set. You're good. Like, right there. You're going to get it time to at least, like, unleash one attack in. I don't even know why I did that since he has a shield. Now, if you stay far away from them, you can actually lure them to throw their shields at you. Which, the first time that happened to me, I didn't know about that, and one of them hit me. So they can throw you with the shields, or I should say they can hit you with that shield. So Just be careful if you do that. Oh, that was close. But it worked out in the end. Oh. Could have been the wrong way to roll. Being safe about that. I was like, you know what? I bet he's coming in right above me. Alessia. I was about to say it's funny that Alessia is always the first one I kill, but I guess it makes sense because usually Alessia is the one who drops down first, so it would make sense Alessia would be the first one you'd kill. Now this area is swarming with secret passages. When I say swarming, it makes it sound like a bad thing. But yeah, these guys aren't too bad once there's only one left. Just be careful if you're worried about your health and all that. Like right there, I could have really screwed up badly. And we have dealt with the Rune Sentinels. Ha! What is probably, for a lot of people, the first majorly difficult boss fight. And now that we've dealt with that, check every single wall for secret passages. And if you're playing online, people will probably have helped you out, as it looks like people have done here, in putting messages on most of them. I guess not all of them, but most of them. And I'm pretty sure these walls are barren, but might as well take a peek. Now the thing that clued me in before I really started checking all the walls is up there's an item that you're kind of like, well, how do I get it? And it kind of just finally, I figured out like, oh, well, I mean, there's got to be a secret passage somewhere. I'm sure that's how, I'm not trying to give myself a lot of credit, I'm sure that's how a lot of people got it. I'm just saying more of that was the design of FromSoft to try to get players to figure it out without necessarily needing people's help, just by giving you an item to look at and be like, ooh, how do I get that item? Let's look at Hush. Hush. The Eastern Land of Mira is not only the home of proud knights, there's also a traditional order of shadow knights who quietly carry out unspeakable tasks. So, like Fall Control, which I don't have, that kind of talks about the shadow knights of Mira. And the shadow knights are the ones, again, who help out with bringing the undead. At least they're with the Flexile Sentry. And so that would indicate they probably helped bring the undead to the Lost Bastille over here. I wonder if anyone's ever made that jump. It seems like you could make it. I never really tried until just now. And we'll get a target shield, which I do not need. And this one's just barren, apparently. I wonder if there's any, like, double secret passages in these spots. Rusted coin, which is good for luck, I believe, if I remember correctly. And that'll do it, but still, some good items to go ahead and look for. Alright, I see you. Almost forgot about this one. Good thing that was there. And we'll get this jackass over there. Take him out before he takes us out. And we can get some rogue water. And I think that's all the secret passages in this specific spot. I mean, there's more secret passages in the Lost Bastille, but I think that wraps up this little boss area's secret passages. And sold the names of the soldier. There's gonna be an explosion, so run through here. You can let the guy kill himself. Yeah. So yeah, just don't be too cautious, otherwise that can take you out. And that wraps up this first part of the Lost Bastille. So for the next episode, we'll go ahead and head to the Lost Sinner. But I'm gonna go ahead and return Majula, use the Sublime Bone Dust, use my 2 Estus Flash Shards, and go ahead and do some leveling up. So that's gonna wrap this up, even though I went over a little bit over, I'm sure, what I wanted to do with a straight hour. I'm probably more like an hour 5 to an hour 10 minutes, I'd say. I have no idea. Don't know how these fast cuts are gonna affect it. But yeah, so that's gonna wrap this up, and I think the Lost Sinner is gonna be next. I'll burn that Sublime Bone Dust. Some Fortress Strength in the Estus Flask. Yeah!
Is that a here?
Why, it is. In fact, I have 2 shards that I found. Whoops. I'm very tempted to level up my intelligence so we can bring Carillion over for the lures. And actually, then I'd have to bring my faith up so I can talk to... Well, Falcon doesn't matter as much, honestly, unless you're doing dark. And I think that was it. Yeah, I had 2. So, let's see how I want to level up. I could level up my faith, my intelligence Let's do a couple. Let's do some smart stuff as well. And yeah, I'm like, I really don't want to level up my intelligence. I'm gonna do, I'll do Infra 2. Fine. Fine. Just for the sake of that, even though it doesn't make any sense for my build. I hate that. Why do you have to do that to talk to everybody? I can't play the build I want to. Ugh. Okay, anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys had fun for this Let's Play. I had a good time. Kita probably had a blast. I don't know. Kita was busy fighting the whole time. But guys, I'll see you next time. Peace. Later, guys.